So, welcome. So, we'll just be doing a meditation today together for whoever's here, and whoever's not can catch it on the recording, just to have an example of a meditation at this phase of the study. And we'll have time for questions before and after. So, if anyone has a question before, we can do that before we start.
I'm curious as to how long the study goes.
We're gonna have one more Zoom after this on February 6th, and that will be the last one, and we'll close it out after that. So that'll give us 2 months before the midway questionnaire and 2 months afterwards, and just a little bit of extra time for anybody who needs a little bit more time to get everything in. And then that'll be it. I'm thinking about doing, if there's enough participation, if there's enough interest in this, doing a phase two of if there are pairs that are interested in seeing what happens with the meditations, doing them together, that you don't have to be physically together, but both people in the relationship doing the meditation with the intentions. So that's a possibility. I was going to bring that up and, let everybody think about that and see how many are interested in doing that. And if there's enough of a group, then we'll continue with those after February 6th.
And are you going to share with us the synchronicities that were submitted?
Oh, yes. I can share with you your own. Are you interested in everyone's or just your
No.
own?
No, just I want to know about everybody else.
So, I haven't figured out the best way to compile all of it. But yeah, I'm going to include those in the study. So there will be some way for me to include it, but some people's are private. So I'll have to go through them and see. I don't want to share anything that's private information. No one's names are on it. So
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and see how sensitive, and maybe I just won't share anything that's sensitive or could be identifying in any way.
All right.
I have
Thanks.
I have a I have a visitor today. He snuck in here. So that's what's flying around right here. Okay, so any other questions before we start? Get something in the background and then we'll begin. And I've shared my screen with the image from last time, just in case that's helpful for some as we're doing this meditation.
Start earning 4% APY.
Okay, so we'll start by finding a comfortable spot, making sure the spine is straight or supported. Begin by bringing your awareness to your breath. Following each inhale and exhale, noticing the pauses between the inhales and the exhales. Gently bringing your awareness inwardly in the heart center or inwardly somewhere. Continuing to follow the breath just by observing it, being present with it. With your awareness in the heart center, invoke the presence of all aspects of yourself that can be useful and helpful to you now. And the non-physical assistance available to you. An infinite intelligence, infinite empowerment, and infinite and unconditional love. With a feeling of gratitude for this presence and assistance that is available to you now. Moving some of your awareness into the lower abdomen, as you inhale with your focus and attention in the lower abdomen. As you exhale, your attention remaining in the pelvic area for now. With each inhale, a slight expansion in the pelvic area. With each exhale, a slight contraction, possibly raising of the pelvic floor slightly as you exhale. With each breath, building and activating energy in the lower abdomen. Each inhale, life force filling all the nooks and crannies of the pelvic area. Each exhale, a building of and collection of consciousness at the base of the spine. And as you feel that energy building and ready to rise, you can visualize the gold serpent on the right side of the base of the spine, black serpent on the left side of the base of the spine. The gold serpent representing the light of creation, and the black serpent representing the void, the emptiness of possibility. As you inhale, the awareness in the lower abdomen, and as you exhale, the two serpents rising up on either side of the base of the spine. The black serpent rises from the left, and the gold rises from the right, crisscrossing in the lower abdomen. And the gold crossing over to the left side, the black crossing over to the right as they climb further up. You don't have to keep track of their crisscrossing, just the intention of crossing of the energies. As they rise, the gold crosses back over to the right as it enters the solar plexus, and the black crosses back over to the left. Next, the gold crossing the left side as it enters the heart. The black crosses over to the right. As they enter the throat chakra, the gold returns to the right side and the black returns to the left side. With each breath, energizing these energetic pathways rising up the spine, crisscrossing through the body as they ascend to the head. Finally, meeting at the center of the head with the gold hovering over the right side, with the black hovering on the left side, facing each other, with the pineal gland sitting between them. Each inhale, visualizing energy rising up, crisscrossing the serpents, energized with each breath. Each breath, serpents energized a bit more. Just noticing any sensations that you feel. And a sense of coherence, or oneness, or wholeness. If you wish, you can visualize the pineal gland in the center of the brain, the head of both serpents facing one another. You can visualize the fangs of each serpent, and dripping from each serpent is representing the secretions of the pineal gland in your brain, activating a synchronicity, coherence among all aspects of the brain. And if you feel a sense of coherence, you can let go of the image of the serpents and just let go into that sensation of oneness. Feeling gratitude for the oneness and coherence that you notice. Our intention now from the state, intention for the well-being and evolution of the field of the relationship that we are a part of, the field that contains the relationship. We'll intend for the state of this field to evolve in a way that allows for the thriving of all involved. A way that's aligned with the evolution of consciousness and meaning, full of purpose for all involved, the well-being for all involved. State our own receptivity to however this unfolds and manifests in the field for us, and gratitude for our creation that we've just created. Really feel the gratitude, what you're creating. With an openness to receiving it. You can start to bring your awareness back to the body and your immediate surroundings. Take a couple more full breaths. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Hey, if anyone has any questions, we can do that now or any observations.
Um, I do have some questions.
Sure.
The first one has to do with the rest of the time of the study and the meditation to do. Should we be sticking with just the most recent one?
You don't have to. You can, but you could do any of them. Really, the point now is to just activate that energetic flow and from that coherent state, set your intention and let that go. And that's really all that needs to happen at this point. So you could do the first, you could do any of them.
Okay.
I just wanted to do the build up to this, to practice and everybody may be experiencing different things. Some people mentioned last time the guided meditations being distracting. So and that's fine. If you could lead it on your own. You don't even have to listen to anything. And that might not be very helpful for some. Some may need the guidance to reach that state.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't matter as long as that activation of energy is happening. You're intending for that. Some people feel it, some people don't feel any sort of sensations. It doesn't mean that nothing is happening. That's fine too. As long as that intention is there to move the energy upward, create that state of coherence, and add the intention. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, I thought that was interesting because um, I was surprised that I felt more comfortable with your meditations than with the Tom Kenyon ones. And that really startled me because I really thought I needed the structure of the fancier stuff that I
Right.
did.
And in the beginning, I felt that way too, like, oh, I'm so delighted to find it. And then, I knew at some point we would either stray away from it or just add the intention at the end of it. But yeah, and it's beautifully done, professionally done. It's great
Yeah,
background music, but yeah, some probably say they favor that. We're all just
sure.
different, and what helps us let go.
Okay, the next question has to do with the meditations that you've done. And when you talk about giving gratitude for the creation that you've made, is the creation that we've made the state of coherence? What is it we've created that we're giving gratitude for?
Both the state of coherence and the intention that you set for, well, I guess it's the same, first your state of coherence within yourself,
Mhm.
and then a state of greater coherence in the field of the relationship that you're a part of.
Okay, okay. The third one is a little bit odd. And if you're uncomfortable with this question, that's fine.
Probably not.
Well, I'm 73, and it is only in the last 6 to 8 months that I've been forced to identify with the word geriatric. It
Hmm.
never occurred to me I was geriatric until I started having a very prolonged series of urinary tract infections. Now,
Hmm.
my background is with aged and disabled services. This is not new stuff to me.
Right.
New to me was the shock of the mental health impact that the chemistry does to you. It's like dropping acid.
Yeah,
You took
yeah,
this pill, you got this UTI, and you're a different person. And it was scary because I didn't know. I mean, when I finally figured it out, I understood the definition of geriatric UTI. It's a
yeah,
whole different world than being 35 and having a UTI.
sure.
Why am I saying this? I am saying it because it made me think about the warnings on I guess on the consent forms when we first sent out, you first sent it out. Have there been people with mental health issues strictly because of the meditation? I don't think I've got any of that. I mean, I know where mine's coming from, but I'm just wondering what brought that up.
I that came from a warning that I read about these sorts of meditations being contraindicated for someone who is in mania or psychosis.
Okay.
that you wouldn't want to, um, enhance that state of um, euphoria or mania, and that this could do that. In my experience directly with people, I have not had any negative. Actually, there was one person in the study um, that dropped out because they were having some negative, very early on, some negative
Mhm.
responses within themselves. So that's something that could happen too, that it's as you're activating the energy and it's moving upward, some people will feel some negative experiences or feelings or thoughts because it's um, as things are activated and letting go, you might have an experience of it on its way out.
Mhm.
So that's fairly common. It's just not not often a terribly negative experience, but it could be. So that's why I put the warning in there.
Okay, because it kind of it reminded me, in the podcasts I listen to, which Buddha at the gas pump I listen to a lot,
Hmm.
and repeatedly they talk about people having negative Kundalini experiences.
Hmm.
And I just wondered if that related at all to what you were describing. Is that sort of a Kundalini thing awakening through those meditations, or you don't know?
In my opinion, it's it's gaining access to some things that have been stored and that we previously didn't have access to. But my thought is that it's being released, it's not, this sort of thing is creating a state of greater coherence, and the intelligence within us, isn't wanting to hang on to those things.
Mhm.
But in times of trauma, um, we kind of constrict ourselves, and those things get, this, for lack of a better description, stored. It's not really like it's packed away and stored in a physical way, but we get disconnected. And so when we're getting reactivated, um, in the effort of, creating coherence and cleaning out of anything that's not useful anymore, um, it can bring it up again. Just like anything else that you would do, if you go see a therapist, they've got that warning in there. This can activate, stored memories, or trigger you in some way. Be prepared. Let's be ready to discuss it if that happens.
Okay.
But the whole goal is, for us to let go of anything that's not useful or helpful anymore.
Right.
But it can certainly come up.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else have anything? And last time someone mentioned that these YouTube videos, they're able to text to themselves. So I'll say that again, just in case someone missed it, that you can text it to yourself, because if you listen to it on YouTube, you might get these aggravating ads. But if you message it to yourself, at least, more than one person mentioned that they're not getting the ads if they're listening to it after they've messaged it from them to themselves. So that could be helpful too.
I wonder if that's a universal rule because, I sleep with something going all the time on
Yeah.
audio and I can't tune into anything that's going to be interrupted with an ad.
Yes, yes, it's so aggravating. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think about that when I chose YouTube as the house for this. But some of them are on Google, as a Google Drive, so you can listen to it that way. And and yeah, it's for the remainder of the study until we close, which is, we're very close to the end. Just keep doing the meditations. Any of them is fine. You could self-guide as well, as long as you're um, activating the energetics, activating consciousness to rise upward. And once you're in that connected state, intending for the development, evolution, greater meaning and purpose in the relational field that you're a part of, and just give gratitude for that. And that's basically it. Those are the steps that we're looking for. And we'll keep documenting with the synchronicity forms, the meaningful, notable experience forms, because I'm going to be using all of that to help me process the data, and then the monthly check-ins. And then we'll end. So we did the midway questionnaire already. We did the intake questionnaire, the midway questionnaire, and the same questions again at the end. So I'll use that to help me see how things have gone through the progression of these meditations that we've done. So thank you all for dedicating your time to this. I really appreciate it.
Okay.
So I'm excited to process all the data and see, but it's been very interesting. People have had very interesting experiences so far. It's been fun to read.
Right. Well,
Okay.
thanks so
Well,
very much.
thank you. Okay, if there's nothing else, then we'll end here.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.